Son Min-suk was walking to the landlord to return the keys. Because there was no money left to rent anymore. Because the card had been blocked an hour ago. Because the bank had called and said in a polite voice that the credit limit was exhausted and the overdue payment had been transferred to the collection department. The landlord, a man of about 50 in sweatpants and slippers, opened the door, took the keys, looked at the torn trousers, said nothing, closed the door. Min-suk stood on the stairs with one backpack. What was in the backpack? A change of clothes, a t-shirt, socks, underwear, a toothbrush, passport and identity card. A notebook and 2 office pens, took them from the desk when he left work 3 weeks ago, automatically. An old down jacket with pills on it, but warm. The phone in his pocket was a Galaxy A32, the screen cracked diagonally, working. Charge 17%. Money on the balance 0. Only Wi-Fi. Cash 8,001 and coins at the bottom of the backpack. About 8,901. That was all. November. Seoul. -6 by feel with the wind. Min-suk walked along the Han River embankment and did not know where to go. 28 years old. Financial analyst. 3 years at Hansel Asset. Smart is not boasting. It is a fact confirmed by numbers. The best result in the department 2 years in a row. Portfolio models that worked. Recommendations that were listened to. A smart man stands on the embankment in November with 8,001 and does not know where to sleep. It is funny. Min-suk did not laugh. He thought. He knew how to think. That was the only thing they had not taken away. 5 in the morning. Min-suk had spent the night in a 24-hour Edia cafe on Yoido. He bought coffee for 1,800, an Americano, the cheapest. Sat by the outlet, charged the phone, stared at one point. At 3 in the morning, the cashier came over and said, "Sorry, it is the rule. You cannot sit without an order for more than 2 hours." Min-suk stood up without a word and went out. Stood outside, came back 5 minutes later. "One more Americano," he said, gave 1,800. The cashier looked at him, brought the coffee. Min-suk sat down. Now until dawn. Left, 7,101. Every coffee another -1,800. The math was simple and bad. A man entered the cafe. About 75 years old. Expensive suit. Patek Philippe on his wrist. Sat opposite Min-suk out of the whole empty cafe, opposite him. Min-suk raised his eyes. The man looked at him calmly, without pity, without judgment, just looked. "Son Min-suk," he said. Pause. "You know my name." "I know a lot," the man said. "Gansei University, first in the class. 3 years at Hansel Asset, the best analyst in the department. Laid off during the merger, debt 37 million. Evicted yesterday." Min-suk did not move. "Who are you?" "Lee Hansong," the man said. "You can check." Min-suk knew that name. Everyone in Financial Seoul knew that name. Lee Hansong, founder of Hansong Logistics. Started with 1 truck in 1978. Now half of the country's port logistics. Net worth by different estimates from 800 billion to 1 trillion won. Sitting in an Edia cafe at 5 in the morning opposite a homeless man. "What do you need?" Min-suk said. "To offer something," Lee Hansong said. Took out an envelope, put it on the table. Min-suk read slowly. 100 million won, without housing until he earns it, without family help, without old connections, without loans above 3 million, gave up 0. Earned it, receives Lee Hansong's entire fortune. Raised his eyes. 2 before me. Yes. Why did they give up? Lee Hansong paused. The first could not withstand it physically. Fell ill in the 2nd month, went to the hospital, asked his parents for help. That is a violation of the conditions. Pause. The second reached 40 million in 5 months. Reached it well. Pause. Then met a girl. She did not know who he was. He did not want to explain it to her. Gave up himself. Wrote me a letter. Silence. 40 million in 5 months, Min-suk repeated. How? That is his story, Lee Hansong said. Not yours. Understood. Pause. Min-suk, Lee Hansong said. There is one thing you must know before signing. I am listening. You will come with nothing. Completely. Lee Hansong looked straight at him. I will take the phone. There is no laptop, and there will not be one. No card. The skills are yours, the head is yours, the clothes on you are yours, and that is all. Pause. Min-suk looked at the old man. Why the phone? Because the phone is a crutch, Lee Hansong said. Without it, it is harder. Pause. The first candidate had a phone, called his parents in difficult moments, did not ask for money, just talked. But it gave him support he was not supposed to have. Pause. You must be truly alone. Long silence. Minsuk looked at the envelope. Without a phone, without a laptop, without anything, in Seoul, in November. This was another level. A pen, Minsuk said. Lee Hansong put the phone into the pocket of his jacket, simply stretched out his hand. Minsuk gave it, watched as the old man put away his only tool of connection with the world. Address, Lee Hansong said. Gave a piece of paper. Memorize it, then return the paper. Minsuk read, Han River Embankment, Wondongyo Bridge. Ask for Doka, nodded. Returned the piece of paper. Good luck, Lee Hansong said. Stood up, buttoned his jacket. Lee Hansong, Minsuk said. The old man stopped. Did you go through this yourself? Long silence. Not through this, Lee Hansong said. Through my own. Pause. That is why I am doing it. Left. Genesis G90 at the entrance. Drove away. Minsuk remained, in the cafe, at 5 in the morning, without a phone, without a card. 7,101. Real zero. The dawn over Ueda was orange, cold. Minsuk left the cafe and went to the embankment. Found a trash bin near the park. Stopped. The first thought was absurd. Why am I looking at a trash bin? The second thought was correct, because I need to understand this world. Looked at the bin, then at the next one. Then at the street workers who had arrived in a small truck to clean the embankment. In Korea, trash is sorted. Glass bottles separately, plastic separately, metal separately. Scrap metal and glass collection points pay for surrendered raw materials. This was the first thought about money, not a proud thought, but a real one. Minsuk sat on a bench and made a plan in the notebook. There was no pencil, a pen, a blue office pen. Wrote, resources. 7,101. Clothes, down jacket, passport, notebook, 2 pens. Head. Basic needs. Warmth. There is a down jacket. But where to sleep at night? Water, drinking fountains and parks. Free. Food. Hygiene. Map of resources that need to be found. Free food where? Shelter where? Toilet where? Shower where? Charging not needed. No phone. Stopped on the last line. No phone. This is not just inconvenience. A phone in Korea in 2024 is everything. The T-Money transport card is tied to the phone for most people. Payment through phone, navigation phone, information phone, communication phone. Without a phone, you have fallen out of the system completely. This is another world, parallel, invisible to those in the system. Welcome, stood up, went. The first task was to find Wondongyo Bridge, without navigation, from memory. Yeouido is an island, several bridges. He knew Wondongyo approximately. Western part of the island, closer to Mapo. Walked, cold, hands in the pockets of the down jacket. Thought about money. 7,101 is about $5. What 7,001 in Seoul is enough for? Rice in GS 25, 1,200. 6 times to eat the cheapest. Or 3 cups of coffee in a cheap cafe. Or 1 subway ride there and back. Or spend nothing and keep it as insurance. The correct answer is keep it. Find free food. It is possible. Seoul has a social support system. There are religious organizations that feed people. There are teokboki ajumas who sometimes give leftovers. There are food banks. Need to find them. Need to know where. For this, he needed Doka. He found Wondongyo Bridge after 40 minutes. Big, gray concrete thrown across the Han River. Under the spans, it was dark even during the day. Approached from the embankment. Saw it. Not what he had imagined. 7 or 8 people. Blue tarpaulin shelters, not tents, just plastic stretched on ropes between concrete columns. Cardboard on the ground? A small gas burner, blue flame. Smell of dampness, smoke, something else. People. Just people. Minsuk stopped at the edge. They looked at him, quietly, appraisingly. One man of about 60 in layers of clothing, wrapped in a scarf up to his nose, asked, "What do you need?" "Looking for Doka," Minsuk said. The man nodded to the side. The far blue shelter, slightly larger than the others. In front of it, a stack of books covered with oilcloth from the rain. Books under the bridge. Approached. "Doka?" A rustle from the shelter. A hoarse, calm voice. Who? Sun Min-seok. Lee Hansong gave this address. A long pause, then the plastic was moved aside. A man of about 55, thin, glasses, one temple taped with insulating tape. Beard neat as much as possible in such conditions. Hands clean, eyes intelligent. Looked at Min-seok for a long time. The third, he said, not a question. Yes, without a phone, Doka noticed. Hansong changed the conditions. Yes, Doka looked at him for a few more seconds. Come in. Inside the shelter 3 square meters, but organized. Cardboard in 3 layers on the ground. On top, an old tourist mat. A Soviet sleeping bag, thick, with a Soviet smell too, but intact. A shelf made of boards, books, a candle in a tin can. Notebook. A professor lived here. Doka sat on his mat. Nodded. Sit. Min-seok sat down. You know about me, Doka said. Without a question. The first candidate. Gave up. 4 months, Doka said evenly. Reached 23 million. Pause. Then broke. Pause. Here since then. Why did you not leave? Doka looked into the candle. Because there is nowhere to leave to, he said simply. I am a professor of economics. Was. Seoul National University. Pause. Lost my position because of a scandal. Not my scandal, someone else's. I was nearby. That was enough. Pause. When Hansong found me, I had already been living here for 3 months. Thought I could. Pause. Could not. Silence. Will you help? Min-seok asked. Did Hansong say to help? No. Then it is my decision. Doka looked at him. For a long time. One question, Doka said. Honestly, yes. Do you understand that tomorrow morning you will wake up here? Nodded at the cardboard. And your back will hurt. And it will be cold. And it will stink. Pause. And this will be every morning. Until you earn it or until you break. Min-seok looked at him. Did not lower his gaze. I understand. No, Doka said. Not now. Pause. In a week you will understand. Pause. Fine, Doka said. I will help. Not because of Hansong. Pause. Because I want to see if someone can pass where I could not. Stood up. Let's go. I will introduce you to the people and explain the rules of this place. 9 people lived under the bridge. Doka introduced each one. Choi Yonggu, 63 years old. Former welder. Lost 3 fingers at work, received compensation, drank it away. Strong, angry sometimes, but honest. Kim Eun-jung, 47 years old. Woman, the only one. Former accountant. Complicated story, husband, debts, court. Quiet. Does not like when people look. Do not touch her. Old Lee, age unknown. 70? 80? Has been here the longest, they say 15 years. Almost does not speak. Knows everything about the embankment. Han Min-seok, 31 years old. Former military, discharged under an article. Good hands, knows how to build, repair, make things from nothing. Looks unfriendly. The other 4 come and go. Unstable. Do not count on them. The rules are simple. Doka explained, standing. First, do not steal from your own. The only rule without exceptions, if they catch you, you leave. Second, Old Lee always takes the far spot by the column. It has been his place for 20 years. Do not approach. Third, the gas burner expense split in half. If you used gas, you brought gas. Fourth, if you found food, first offer it to others. You are not obligated to give it away, but offer. Fifth, the cops come sometimes, usually a warning, but sometimes a sweep. If there is a sweep, everyone scatters. We meet at the second bench by the fountain in an hour. Min-seok listened. Memorized. Sixth, my personal one, Doka said. You are new. The first 3 days, listen, watch, do not advise. You did not come to an office. Here there is different knowledge. Pause. Understood, Min-seok said. Questions? Where do people get food? Doka's face changed slightly. Approval, the correct first question. Began to explain, Yonagyo Church in Mappo, hot food Tuesday and Friday, 11 in the morning. Need to arrive before 10:30, places are limited. Hwagyesa Buddhist Temple in Seongbuk, lunch every day, free but far. Need a bus or an hour on foot. Tadet Hanbap food truck every Wednesday evening on the embankment near Mapodegyo Bridge. Not every week, sometimes they do not come. Trash from cafes and restaurants in Korea, food waste separately in green bags. After restaurants close near Uedo Station, they sometimes throw away unopened food. It gets taken apart quickly. Noryangjin Market late at night. Fish merchants sometimes give away substandard goods. Need to know whom to ask. Min-suk wrote everything down. Water? He asked. Toilet at the park entrance. There is a sink there. Drinking fountains work while it is warm. Soon they will turn them off. It will get worse. Soon as when? 2 weeks? Maybe 3, Doka said. Then only water from cafes or buying it. Or a toilet in a shopping center. Wrote it down. Hygiene? Doka pointed at the river. In summer, everyone here. Now it is cold. Pause. IFC Mall in Uedo has large toilets with mirrors. In the morning at 7, before the shops open, the toilet is already open. You can wash your face, brush your teeth. The guards do not bother you if you are quick and quiet. Wrote it down. It is cold at night, Min-seok said. There is a down jacket. But... Cardboard? Doka said. A lot of cardboard under you is more important than a jacket over you. Cold comes from below. The ground pulls heat faster than the air. Pause. Today you will find cardboard at the E-Mart supermarket. They throw out boxes every evening. Take several layers. Wrote it down. Doka looked at the notebook. You write everything down. Yes, good. Pause. Or bad, depends on whether you can think without a notebook too. I can. We will see, Doka said. Evening of the first day. Min-seok lay on cardboard under Wondangyo Bridge. He had found 3 layers of cardboard at E-Mart, as Doka had said. Boxes from refrigerators, big, thick, good. The down jacket on him. Backpack under his head. Dark. Cold but bearable. The cardboard worked. Nearby quiet sounds. People's breathing. Han Min-seok muttered something in his sleep. Somewhere far away, cars on the bridge. Min-seok did not sleep. Thought. First day. Results spent, 0-1. Bought nothing. Found a place to sleep. Basic map of resources. People who know this world. Left, 7,101. Task for tomorrow. Find the first money. Any. How? Without a phone, without a laptop, without connections. What can a person do with bare hands and a head? Thought. For a long time. In 3 hours lying on cardboard, came up with 7 options. Rejected 5, left 2. First, physical labor. Noryangjin Market, construction, unloading, immediate money. Small, but immediate. Second, information. He knows finance, knows markets, knows how to calculate. This knowledge is worth money if he finds someone who needs it. But how to find them without a phone, without a laptop, without a business card? That is the question. The second option for later. First, survive. Turned onto his side. Closed his eyes. Tomorrow, Noryangjin Market, 5 in the morning. They hire day laborers there. Doka said 80 to 100,000 for a day. First money, beginning. Fell asleep. Dreamed of an office on Uedo, glass walls, coffee, monitors with charts. Woke from the cold at 4 in the morning. Lay for a minute. There is no office. There is cardboard and -8. Get up. Noryangjin Fish Market of Seoul. Works 24 hours. At 4 in the morning, the liveliest place in the city. Min-seok arrived at 4:30. 40 minutes on foot along the embankment. Warmed up while walking. At the entrance to the market, several men stood by the wall, smoked, looked at him. Day labor market. Exactly here. Approached. Is there work? Min-seok asked. The men looked at him, at the clothes, at the hands. One, about 50, with a weathered face, asked, Can you carry loads? Yes, show your hands. Min-seok showed his hands. The man looked. Soft palms, office ones, immediately visible. First time? Yes. 80,000 for the day, the man said. Cash in the evening, pause, if you manage. If not, 50. Fine. Name. Sun Min-seok. I am Cho. Follow me. Min-seok remembered the next 10 hours for a long time. Fish boxes, plastic, with ice. Each 25, 30 kilograms. Carried them from the unloading platform to the refrigerated rooms. Back and forth. Back and forth. They gave him gloves. They gave him a rubber apron. No boots, his own sneakers soaked through in an hour. Cold, the fish market in November. Inside the chambers, -15. His hands stopped feeling by 8 in the morning, his back by 10. Lunch half an hour. Cho gave a bowl of fish soup from a bucket. Hot. Minsok ate silently and quickly. At 3 in the afternoon, he dropped the first box. His hands did not hold out. Simply unclenched. The box crashed, ice across the floor, fish. Cho came over, looked. Pick it up. Minsuk picked it up on his knees. His hands did not obey. No one helped. They watched, picked it up, lifted the box, carried it. Did not think about anything except the next step, next box, next trip, nothing else. At 6 in the evening, Cho said, "That is all," gave an envelope, without counting. Minsuk went outside, opened the envelope. 80,000 won, 8 bills of 10,000, earned, sat on the curb, hands hurt. The back was a separate story. Sneakers soaked through, feet white, wrinkled from water and cold. 80,000 won. This was less than 2 hours of his old salary. 10 hours of work. Sat on the curb by the fish market and looked at the bills. Did not cry. Just sat. Thought. Then stood up, went. On the way home under the bridge, went into GS25. Bought rice in a cup, 1,200. Hot. A bottle of water, 800. Wool socks, 3 pairs. Promotion 4,900. Total 6,901. Went out. Changed shoes right at the entrance to the store. Threw the wet sneakers into the trash. Put on dry socks. Small happiness. Returned under the bridge. Doka sat by the burner. Read. Raised his eyes. Nor Yangjin? Yes. How much? 80. Doka nodded, without much emotion. Ate? Bought rice. Eat. Minsok sat down. Ate. His hands trembled a little, tired. The rice was hot. Tasty as much as rice from a cup in GS25 can be tasty when you have not eaten since morning. Doka, Minsok said. What? Cho at Noryangjin. Does he take people every day? Takes them when there is work. Not every day. Where else? Doka looked at him. Ate and immediately thinking about tomorrow. Yes? Pause. Construction, Doka said. Corner of Mapo Dero and line 8. In the morning at 6 they stand there. Sometimes they take. Pause. Also moving jobs. Private notices on poles. Movers for moving, 120, 150,000. But you need to see the notice. Where do they post notices? At Hapjeong, Wondan subway stations, local districts. Minsok wrote it down. The notebook was filling up. A survival map. Doka watched him write. Minsok. Yes, you will not reach 100 million with physical labor. That is math. Pause. 80,000 a day is 24 million a year. To 100 million, 4 years. Pause. Hansong gives a year or 2. I know, Minsuk said. Why the market then? Because without food and warmth, there will be no plant at all, Minsuk said. First survive, then grow. Pause. Doka looked at him differently. Slightly. The second candidate also said that, he said. And what? Spoke correctly. Also acted correctly. Pause. Just stayed too long at the survival stage. Could not move to the next one in any way. Why? Because survival pulls you in, Doka said quietly. Every day you think one more day. Tomorrow I will start the plan. Tomorrow becomes the day after tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, next week. Pause, then months. Silence. Minsuk looked at the notebook. How much time can I stay at the survival stage? Decide yourself, Doka said. No, Minsuk said. You are a professor of economics. You have an answer. A long pause. Doka looked at the flame of the burner. 2 weeks, he said at last. Maximum. Pause. In 2 weeks, there must appear the first idea that scales. Otherwise, it is a trap. Minsuk wrote it down. 2 weeks for survival, then scale. Otherwise, a trap. Good, Minsuk said. Closed the notebook. Lay down on the cardboard. Day 1 finished. Result. Earned 80,001. Spent 6,901. Left 80,201. To 100 million or 99 million and 919,801. To the goal 99.192% of the way. Funny. Started. 7 days passed. Not smoothly. Day 2, construction site on Mapo Dero. They took him. 8 hours carrying rebar and bags of cement. A bag 50 kilos. Minsok weighed 72. The balance was uncomfortable. Fell on the third hour, slipped on wet decking. Not fell, stumbled, the bag flew away. The foreman shouted something bad. Paid 100,000, no questions. Day 3 got up in the morning and could not straighten his back. Literally. Lay on the cardboard and understood that getting up hurt. Doka watched. Strain, he said. Not a tear. 2 days of rest. I cannot not work for 2 days. You can, Doka said. Or it will be a tear and then a week. Rested for 2 days. This was the first real panic. To lie on the cardboard and look at the concrete above your head and count 100,000 minus food expenses, that is 90-something thousand. 2 days off, 0 income. Lee Hansong's timer does not stop. A quiet panic. Internal. Outside, nothing. Minsok did not show it. Day 4, back better? Went to Noryangjin. Cho was not there, day off. Another foreman looked at him, said, full. Returned with nothing. Day 5, moving job. Saw an advertisement at Wandon Station. Movers needed 1 day, 120,000. Call the number, no phone. Stood by the advertisement. Number, need to call, no phone. Ask. Looked around. Nearby an elderly man was waiting for a bus. Can I call from your phone? 1 call, for business. The man looked at him, at the clothes, then silently gave the phone. Minsok dialed the number, arranged it, address. Tomorrow at 8, returned the phone. Thank you. The man nodded. First time he asked a stranger for help. There was pride. Had to swallow it. A tool is not humiliation. Asking to make a call is not humiliation. Remember this. Day 6, moving job. A family from Mapo was moving to Mapo. 5 hours. Sofa, wardrobes, boxes, refrigerator. Refrigerator up the stairs, 3 people, 4th floor without an elevator. Minsok was the 4th. The apartment owner paid, counted the money for a long time, checked the crumpled bills, then gave 120. Day 7, Sunday. There was no work. Result of the first week, Minsok sat by the burner. Doka opposite. Earned for the week, 300,001. Spent approximately 35,000 food. Once bought plasters for blisters. Once hot tea in a cafe because it was completely cold. Left 345,101 with the starting money. To the goal, 99,654,901. 300,000 in a week, Minsok said out loud. Yes, Doka said. At this pace, 6.5 years, Hansong will not live that long. Yes? Pause. So it is time to start the second stage, Minsok said. Yes, I have an idea. Doka looked. I am listening. Minsok opened the notebook. During the week while his back hurt, while he stood by the advertisements, while he carried boxes, he thought about the market, about people, about what he saw around, saw a lot, and found something. Not a million idea right away. An idea for the first real step. Noryangjin Market, Minsok began. Every morning 15 to 20 people stand there waiting for work. Foremen come and choose. Those who are not chosen leave with nothing. Pause. I watched for 7 days. Saw a pattern. What pattern? Foremen take the same people, Minsok said. There are faces they see every day. They take them without questions. There are new ones. They look cautiously. Take them last. Pause. But there are tasks that foremen cannot cover with their own people. Specialized, different. For example, on Wednesday, a foreman from a factory in Guro came. Needed people who understood electrical work, simple installation. Found no one among the regulars. Left. Pause. On Friday, someone needed a person who could drive a truck. Again, no one. So what? Information gap, Minsok said. Foremen do not know who can do what. The people by the wall do not know what the foremen are looking for. Pause. I spent a week talking to everyone. I know who can do what. I know who is looking for what. You want to be an intermediary? Yes. Doka looked at him. Silence. How much will you take? 5% of the amount the worker receives. He received 100,000, gives me 5,000. Voluntarily? Voluntarily. Because without me, he would have stood all day and left with nothing. Long silence. Doka looked at the fire. It would work, he said at last. Theoretically. Why would it not work practically? Because those people by the wall do not trust new faces. Pause. You have been there a week. To them, you are a stranger. Pause. Also, the foreman will understand what you are doing. They may not like intermediaries, Min-seok thought. Then first trust is needed, he said. Yes, how much time? A week. 2. Depends on you. Pause. Doka. Min-seok looked at him. When you were at this stage, what stopped you? Long silence. Doka did not look at him. I thought too long, he said quietly. Analyzed. Postponed. Pause. Professional deformation of an economist. Pause. You are an analyst. Watch so you do not repeat it. Min-seok closed the notebook. Tomorrow I am going to Noryangjin, he said. Not to work. To talk. Doka nodded. Over the Hain River, November wind. Under the bridge, the flame of the burner, 9 people slept or lay silently. Min-seok looked into the darkness, 8 days behind, to 100,099,654,901. Lee Hansong's clock is ticking. Day 8. Min-seok came to Noryangjin at 5 in the morning. Not to work, to watch. Stood a little aside from the main group, back to the wall. Hands in the pockets of the down jacket. Observed. The people by the wall were different. Some stand every day, familiar faces, greet each other. Some are new, stand separately, look at the ground. Hierarchy even here. Hierarchy everywhere. Foremen began coming from 6. The first was a fat man in a yellow construction jacket. Came up to the group, named 3 names, they followed him. The rest stayed. The second, a woman of about 45. Looked around. Asked if anyone knew how to paint. 2 raised their hands. Took both. The third, young, nervous, with a sheet of paper. Read something. Asked, who has worked with tile? Silence. No one. The man stood there, began to leave. Min-seok stepped forward. Will there be such a request next week? The man stopped. Looked. Maybe. I will find a person, Min-seok said. Who are you? Son Min-seok. I know people here. The man looked at him. Distrustfully. Phone? Pause. No phone. I am here every morning. If you need a tiler, come. Tell me. The man snorted. Left. Maybe he will return. Maybe not. Wrote in the notebook. Tyler, ask the people by the wall who can do it. By 8 in the morning, most had dispersed. 5 remained who were not given work today. Min-seok approached. Can we talk? They looked. Not hostile, tired. What do you need? One said. About 45 years old. His name was Gi-chan, learned later. I want to understand who can do what, Min-seok said. To connect with those who are looking. Silence. Why do you need it? Gi-chan said. I take a small percentage, Min-seok said honestly, but only if I found you work. If I did not find anything, I take nothing. Silence longer. Gi-chan looked at him. How long have you been here? A week. It shows, Gi-chan said. Without malice, a statement. Hands are not those yet. Min-seok looked at his hands. There were already blisters, but not the hands of people who had worked with their hands for years. Yes, Min-seok agreed. Recently. From where? Office. Pause. Something changed in the air, not worse, just different. An office guy came to us, someone from the 5 said. Not mockingly. Just noticed. Came, Min-seok said. Did not justify himself, did not explain. Just agreed. That was right. Gi-chan was silent a little more. I can paint, weld, a little electrical work, he said at last. Loading is clear. Pause. What else do you want to know? First contact. Min-seok took out the notebook. By 10 in the morning, he had talked to 4 of the 5. The 5th did not want to. Moved away when Min-seok approached. Fine, not everyone. Wrote down, Gi-chan, painting, welding, electrical work, loader. 15 years of experience. Bai Sung-chol drives a truck, category 1. Can do carpentry. Jang Hyunjin, former cook. Can work in a kitchen, now takes anything. Kwon Il-soo, general construction, roofing, demolition. Bai Sung-chol drives a truck. Min-seok remembered that on Friday a foreman was looking for a truck driver. Left with nothing. Looked at Bai Sung-chol. Bai, are you here every day? Every day except Sunday. Good. Pause. Wait a little longer. Sat down. Began to wait. At 11, the same foreman came who had been looking for a driver on Friday. Another person. Looked around. Min-seok stood up. Approached first. Need a truck driver again? The foreman stopped. Looked. You remember me? Friday. You did not find one then. Yes, need one again, one day. Delivery to Incheon and back. How much do you pay? 130. There is a person. Nodded at Bae Sungchol. Category 1. 15 years of experience. The foreman looked at Bae Sungchol. Bae, do you have documents? Bae Sungchol took out his license. Worn, real. The foreman nodded. Let's go. Bae Sungchol stood up. Went. Turned to Minsuk. A questioning look. Minsuk showed with his fingers. 5%? 6,500? In the evening, Bae Sungchol nodded. Went. In the evening, Bae Sungchol returned to the market. Found Minsuk. Silently gave 6,500 won. Minsuk took it. Thank you. The work was normal, Bae Sungchol said. If there is such a thing again, call me. I will call. Bae Sungchol left. Minsuk stood with 6,500 won. Earned not with hands, with his head. First time in 8 days. Small amount. Insignificant. But a different principle. Day 10. Snow at night. First snow of the season. Quiet. Wet. By morning, 3 centimeters on the embankment. Minsuk woke from the cold. Not just cold, wet cold. Snow found gaps in the tarpaulin. The corner of the mat was damp. Got up. 4 in the morning. Dark. Quiet. Looked at the others. Han Minsuk was not sleeping. Sat. Looked at the river. The river black, shiny under the embankment lamps. Kim Un-jung wrapped herself in 2 blankets. Only the top of her head visible. Old Lee, as always. Unclear whether sleeping or not. Under the bridge protection from direct snow. But damp. Temperature -4. Minsuk got up. Began jumping in place quietly so as not to wake anyone. Warmed up a little. Sat down. Thought. First snow means one thing. Winter came ahead of time. November only in the middle, and there is already snow. December, January will be worse. Much worse. Problems that will appear: 1. The temperature will drop to -15, -20. Cardboard and down jacket not enough. 2. Physical work in the cold is more dangerous. Risk of frostbite. Falling on ice. 3. Getting sick. Without insurance, without money for medicine, illness is a catastrophe. 4. The labor market drops in winter. Construction slows down. Fewer moves. These are threats. What to do? Find a warmer place than under the bridge to sleep. Not an apartment, violation of the conditions, but something. Close the issue of warmth before December. 2 weeks left. Took out the notebook. Wrote in the dark, crooked letters, but readable. Options for shelter warmer than the bridge. Flop houses. The cheapest rooms in Seoul, from 15,000 won per day. This is possible. No. Violation of the conditions. Without permanent housing. Permanent or any. Doka said, Hansong interprets this strictly. Any rented room is a violation. Night cafes. Technically not housing. You pay for an hour or a night. It is a service, not rent. Gray area, saunas. Pay an entrance fee 10 to 15,000. You can sleep in the common hall. Warm. There is a shower. Gray area, but probably acceptable. Staying under the bridge is free, but dangerous in winter. When it got light, he approached Doka. Is a jijimjilbang in winter a violation of the conditions? Doka thought. Hansong did not forbid it directly. Permanent housing is forbidden. A jijimjilbang you pay for a service, like a cafe. Pause. But you need money for it. 10,000 per day. 300,000 per month. Yes, with my current income possible. For now, Doka said. Pause. How do you spend winter? Minsuk asked. Doka looked at him. As always, he said. Here, under the bridge, all winter. Already 4 winters. Silence. Minsuk looked at the old professor. 4 winters under Wondongyo Bridge. Something in this was wrong. Not pity, something else. Some kind of injustice, but said nothing. Not his business yet. Day 11. The intermediary scheme began to work. Slowly, not perfectly, but worked. Minsuk every morning at Noryangjin from 5 to 10. Already knew about 20 people. Knew who could do what. Began to know the foreman, who comes when, what they are looking for. Information arbitrage. On day 11, 2 matches. Jang Hyun-jun, former cook, found for him a catering company that was looking for a temporary kitchen assistant. 110,000. Min-seok's commission 5,500. Kwon Il-soo, roofing, sent to demolition of an old building in Yeongdeungpo. 90,000. Commission 4,500. Total for the day 10,001 without lifting anything heavier than a notebook. Little, but the scheme works. Day 12. First failure. Min-seok found work for Gi-chun, painting an apartment in Madang-gu. The foreman promised 120,000. Gi-chun worked the day, came in the evening, was silent. What? Min-seok asked. They did not pay. Pause. What do you mean they did not pay? Said come tomorrow. Tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, they do not answer the phone. Scammed. Min-seok looked at Gi-chun, a man of about 45. Worked a day, tired, no money. Do you remember the object's address? I remember. Why? Let's go tomorrow morning. Gi-chun looked at him. Are you going to collect it? I will try. They can. Gi-chun did not finish. I know, Min-seok said. Let's go anyway. Morning of the 13th day. Madang-gu. Residential complex, 4th floor. Min-seok rang the doorbell. A man of about 50 opened, in home clothes. Looked at the two at the door, at Gi-chun, at Min-seok. What? Money for the work, Min-seok said evenly. 120,000? What money? The work was done badly. Needs to be redone. Show what is bad. Pause. What? Show specifically what was done badly. If it is bad, we will redo it. If not, pay. The man looked at him. Young, quiet, speaks confidently. Who are you anyway? Representative of the worker, Min-seok said. It was funny. Representative. In a down jacket with pills on it. Without a phone. With blisters on his hands. But he said it evenly. Without trembling. There are no claims under the contract, Min-seok continued. There was no contract at all. Verbal agreement. 120,000 for painting 3 rooms. 3 rooms are painted. Pause. If you do not pay, tomorrow there will be a labor dispute inspector here. Bluff. Pure bluff. Min-seok had no idea how quickly one could really call a labor inspector, but it sounded convincing. The man looked. 1 second. 2. Wait. Closed the door. A minute later opened. Held out money. 100,000. It was 120, Min-seok said. 100. For quality. Pause. Min-seok could argue, could stand there longer, but looked at Gi-chun. He slightly shook his head. Enough. Fine, Min-seok said. Took the money, gave it to Gi-chun. The door closed. They stood on the stairs. Gi-chun looked at the 100,000 in his hand. You, he began. I am not taking commission, Min-seok said. This is different. This is a debt. Silence. Gi-chun put the money away. That foreman, he said. I know where he usually is. No need. Need, Gi-chun said. This is not his first time doing this. Pause. Not you for me, I will go for you. Min-seok looked at him. Something changed. Not a deal, not calculation, just changed. Day 14. 2 weeks. Doka said 2 weeks maximum for survival. Then an idea that scales is needed. 14th day, evening, sat by the burner. Results of 2 weeks. Earned total 520,001. Spent approximately 80,000. Left approximately 600,000, one with the starting money. To the goal, 99,400,001. Intermediary work at Noryangjin brings on average 15,000 to 25,000 per day. Per month, 450,000 to 750,001. To 100 million at this pace, 12 to 18 years. Does not work. Need the next step. What does Son Min-seok know how to do that? Others under this bridge do not. Financial analysis. Reads balance sheets. Understands markets. Builds models. But without a laptop. Without internet. Without access to data, it is like being a cook without a kitchen. Or not? Looked into the fire. Data does not have to be digital. Data is information. Any. What information does he have right now without a laptop? Noryangjin market. 2 weeks of observations. He knows who comes when. Knows what types of work are in deficit. Knows pricing. Knows patterns. This is data. Who needs this data? Thought. Small businesses that hire temporary workers, they need predictability. To know in advance that next Tuesday there will be enough carpenters, or there will not. Staffing agencies, they exist but do not work with the lower segment. Amounts too small. This is a niche. Wrote it down. Thought further. Stop. I am thinking correctly, but there are no tools. Without a phone, I cannot call clients. Without a laptop, I cannot make a written proposal. Without an address, clients will not take me seriously. This is a wall. How to get around the wall? Saturday. For a long time. Nearby Han Min-sok, former military. Always silent. Sat and repaired something, a piece of tarpaulin, needle and thread. Min-sok looked at his hands. Even stitches. Neat. Fast. Han, Min-seok said. Han raised his eyes. Briefly. Where did you learn to sew? Army, Han said. We repaired gear ourselves. What else can you do from the army? Han looked at him. Squinted. Why are you asking? Just to understand. Silence. Orientation, Han said at last. First aid. Explosives. Pause. The last does not concern you. First aid is useful. What do you need it for? I do not know yet, Min-seok said honestly. Han looked at him for another second, returned to the tarpaulin. Min-seok sat, looked at the people under the bridge, 9 people. Each had their own story, their own skills, their own knowledge. This is capital that no one counts as capital. Doka, professor of economics. Han Min-seok, military man with special skills. Gi-chan, 15 years of construction. Bai Seung-chol, professional driver. Kim Yoon-jung, former accountant. And all of them every day lose time standing by the wall, waiting for a random foreman. Min-seok stood up, approached Doka. Doka. Talk. Doka put the book aside. I am listening. Kim Yoon-jung. She is an accountant? Does she have a license? Probably lost it. Has not practiced for a long time. But the knowledge is there. Knowledge does not disappear. Good. Pause. You are an economist. Gi-chan, construction. Han, army skills. Bae Seung-chol, driver with a license. Pause. I am a financial analyst. Doka watched. You are proposing something. Yes, Min-seok said. But need to think. Pause. And I need your honesty. Ask. Why did you not unite earlier? You have been here 4 years. Smart people nearby? Why is everyone on their own? Long silence. Doka looked at the flame of the burner. Because a homeless person does not think about tomorrow, he said at last. Thinks about today. About food. About warmth. Pause. Planning horizon 1 day, maximum 3. Pause. To think ahead, stability is needed, at least a little. Pause. It is not there. I think ahead, Min-seok said. You have been here 2 weeks, Doka said. Wait for winter. We will see. Pause. Doka, Min-seok said quietly. Did you give up because you were tired? Or because you were alone? Very long silence. The flame of the burner small, blue, steady. Alone, Doka said at last. Quietly? Because I was alone. Min-seok nodded, said nothing more. Returned to his place, lay down. Thought. The idea was forming, not ready yet, raw, with holes. But there is an outline. Not intermediary work on the labor market. Something bigger. Something that uses not one person, but everyone. Unite the skills of people whom the system wrote off and sell these skills back to the system, on their terms. It sounded like an idea that might not work. Or work. Closed his eyes. Outside, the first December snow began to fall again. Under the bridge, quiet. Planning horizon more than 1 day. This was already a different person than the one who came here 2 weeks ago. Different. Better or worse, he would find out later. Now sleep. Tomorrow, work. Day 15. In the morning, Min-seok did not go to Noryangjin for the first time in a week. Sat next to old Lee. The old man sat by the water. Looked at the river, as always. No one really talked to old Lee. Doka said he does not like it. He answers if asked, but does not speak himself. Min-seok sat next to him. Was silent. 5 minutes. 10. 15. They looked at the river together. The Han River in winter was dark, heavy. In the distance, Mapodegyo Bridge. The cars on it were small, silent at such a distance. Old Lee spoke first. You have been sitting for 20 minutes already. Yes? Why? I wanted to talk, but did not know how to start. Pause. Speak, Old Lee said, his voice creaky, but steady. You have been here 15 years, Doka said. 17, Old Lee corrected. 17, Minsuk agreed. You know this embankment better than anyone. Yes. You know what shops are nearby, what restaurants, what people. Yes. You know what has changed in 17 years. Pause. Old Lee looked at him. Looked for the first time. What do you want to know, he said. Everything, Minsuk said. If you are willing to tell. Long silence. The wind from the river cold. December. There used to be a warehouse here, Old Lee began. Over there. Pointed to an overgrown plot near the bank. Demolished in 2015. The land has been empty since then. Whose land? City-owned. There was a project to make a park. They did not give money, so it just stands. Minsuk listened. Wrote down. What else? Old Lee spoke, slowly. Without a system, just what came to mind. The restaurant on the corner of Wandandero changed owners 3 times. The current one is new, young, opened half a year ago. Works badly, Minsuk did not know this, but Old Lee had seen. Few visitors in the evening, throws away a lot of products. Mirai Constal Construction Company has been renting an office in the neighboring building for 8 years. They used to bring many workers, now fewer. Something changed with them. Under the second bridge farther along the embankment, there is another group. Not like here, more aggressive. Do not go there. At the Nanhyun food market on Wednesdays, the owner throws out unsold goods at 7 in the evening. Not into the trash, leaves them by the wall. Those who know, know. Old Lee spoke for an hour, Minsuk wrote down. Then Old Lee fell silent. Looked at the river again. Why do you need all this, he said. I do not know myself yet, Minsuk said. But knowledge is always more useful than ignorance. Pause. You are not homeless, Old Lee said. Minsuk looked at him. In what sense? Homeless people do not write things down, Old Lee said. They survive. You are building something. Pause. Why? Minsuk was silent for a second. Decided to tell the truth. I am trying to earn 100 million won, he said, to receive something important. Old Lee looked at him. For a long time. 100 million, he repeated. Without irony, yes. From here. Yes. Pause. Good, Old Lee said, and looked at the river again. The conversation ended. Minsuk stood up. Went. Son Minsuk, Old Lee said to his back. Stopped. Yes, that restaurant on the corner. Pause. The owner is young, alone, does not know the district. Comes every morning at 8. Sits, counts something in a notebook. Looks bad. Minsuk stood. Thank you, he said. Do not thank me, Old Lee said. Just do not forget. What not to forget he did not specify. Minsuk went to the restaurant. Corner of Wandandero. Cheongchun Sikdang written on the sign. Youth cafeteria. Simple menu, jjigae, bibimbap, soup. 8:15 in the morning. The restaurant is closed, opens at 11. But there is light inside. Someone is sitting. Minsuk knocked on the glass. A young man of about 25 lifted his head from a notebook. Looked at Minsuk. Frowned. Came to the door. Closed, he said through the glass. I know, not here to eat, to talk. About what? About your restaurant. Pause. The owner looked at him. At the down jacket with pills? At the backpack? Thought whether to chase him away or not. Opened the door. 5 minutes. Minsuk entered. Warm. Smell of oil, spices, early morning. Sat opposite the owner. On the table a notebook with columns of numbers. Minsuk glanced, did not read closely, but saw enough. Expenses exceed income. Strongly. My name is Sun Minsuk, he said. Financial analyst. Former. Kim Taeyang, the owner said. Cautiously. What do you need? I saw your notebook, Minsuk said. Not on purpose. Pause. I can help. Kim Taeyang watched. With what exactly? Expenses, Minsuk said. You spend more than you earn. That is visible even without details. Pause. I can look where. Why do you need this? Direct question, correct. No money. I eat for free at church. Min-suk spoke evenly. If I help you save money, I will take a small percentage of the savings. If I do not help, I take nothing. Silence. Kim Tae-young looked at the notebook, then at Min-suk. Prove that you can. Without the notebook. Good. Why do I have few visitors in the evening? Min-suk looked around. Thought. Sign, he said. From outside it is not visible that you are open in the evening. It says 11 to 21, but in small letters. Pause. The corner has good traffic, but you are on the side where there is shade in the evening. Passers-by look at the sunny side. Pause. And there is no menu outside. A person does not know that you are cheap until he enters. The entry threshold is high. Silence. Kim Tae-yang looked at him. This, he began. This is without the notebook, Min-suk said. With the notebook, I will see more. Long pause. Kim Tae-yang pushed the notebook over. Min-suk took it. Began to read. Quickly, numbers were his language. Looked for 3 minutes, found it immediately. Product supplier, he said. Here. Pointed. You buy from one supplier. Prices are 23% higher than the market. I did not know others. Noryangjin Market, Min-suk said. Direct purchases, no intermediary needed. Pause. And portions. Pointed to another column, too large. You throw away leftovers. Pause. Standard Korean cafeteria portion is slightly smaller. Customers usually do not complain. Kim Tae-young listened. Was silent. More, he said. Min-suk read further. Staff. You have 2 waitresses? Pause. In the evening one can manage. The second is unnecessary. Especially while there are few visitors. Fire her, transfer to part-time. Pause. And advertising. You have none. At all. Pause. Naver Place. Free. Just need to register. Naver Place is the Korean equivalent of Google Maps for establishments. Most Koreans search for food exactly there. I do not know how, Kim Tae-young said. I will help. Pause. If we agree. Silence. Kim Tae-yang looked at him. How much do you want? 10% of the amount you save in the first month, Min-suk said. Only the first month. Then everything is yours. Kim Tae-yang counted. If the supplier gives savings of 23%, that is a significant amount for a small restaurant. Good, Kim Tae-young said. Let's try. One request, Min-suk said. What? To register Naver Place, a smartphone is needed. Can I use yours? Kim Tae-young watched. You have no phone? Yes, how do you? He began. Stopped. Good. Come tomorrow at 8. Min-suk stood up. Thank you, Kim. Park, Kim Tae-young said. Min-suk turned around. Are you hungry? Pause. A little. Sit down. I will make soup. It is still early, but there is something to put on the fire. Min-suk sat. Kim Tae-young went to the kitchen. The knife could be heard knocking. Gas turned on. Smell of onion broth. Min-suk sat in the warm restaurant at 8:30 in the morning. Outside the window, December Seoul. Snow on the sidewalk. People in coats. Thought. Today, for the first time in 15 days, he did not think about survival. He thought about the next step. This is the difference Doka meant. The horizon shifted. A little, but shifted. Day 16, 8 in the morning. Min-suk came to Cheongchun Sikdong exactly. Kim Tae-yang was already inside. Opened the door without words. Put 2 coffees on the table. They sat down. Kim Tae-yang took out his phone. Galaxy S23. Put it between them. What do we do first? Naver Place, Min-suk said. Registration of the establishment, then photos, then menu online. I do not have normal photos. Min-suk looked around. The restaurant was small, 12 tables, light walls, clean. Large window, good light in the morning. We will take pictures now. Morning light is better. Then what? Softer, no shadow. Took Kim Tae-young's phone. Stood up. Walked around the restaurant. Looked through the screen. 3 years of analytics had made him look at presentations, reports, pitch decks. Knew what worked visually and what did not. Not a photographer, but understanding existed. Photographed. A table by the window, natural light, empty cups as decoration, simple and clean. The kitchen through the window, fire under a pot, steam, alive. Menu on the wall large, clear. A plate of bibimbap that Kim Taeyang prepared specially, good color, looks fresh. 20 minutes, sat back down, began registration. Naver Place, Korean system. The establishment must be verified. Business registration number needed. Your business registration number. Kim Taeyang took out a folder, found it, dictated. Min-seok entered. Worked methodically, every field carefully. Restaurant description short, specific. Homemade Korean food, fresh ingredients, affordable prices near the Han River embankment. The last one is important. The embankment is an attraction point. People walk, look for food. Uploaded photos, set working hours. Added menu with prices, an hour of work. Done, Min-seok said. Kim Taeyang looked at the phone. The restaurant page alive. Photos, description, menu, map. Does this work? He asked. Not immediately. Pause. Naver indexes new establishments in 3 to 5 days. Then they will start appearing in search. Pause, but first reviews are needed. At least 1 to 2. Where to get them? Do you have regular customers? Several. 4 to 5 people from neighboring offices. Ask them to leave a review. Personally. Pause. Not through a mailing personally when they come to lunch. People refuse mailings. Rarely refuse a live person. Kim Taeyang nodded. Now the supplier, Min-seok said. Noryoung-jin. Min-seok and Kim Taeyang arrived together at 10:30. There was still time before the restaurant opened. Min-seok knew the market, had learned it in 2 weeks. Led Kim Taeyang through the rows, showed 3 vegetable suppliers, 2 fish, 1 beef and pork. Min-seok did not bargain. Kim Taeyang bargained himself. Min-seok stood nearby, sometimes said quietly into his ear. In the neighboring row, it is 301 cheaper per kilo. You can say that. In an hour and a half, Kim Taeyang agreed with 3 new suppliers. Preliminary savings, Min-seok counted in his head, about 18-22% of the weekly purchase. Per month, approximately 600 to 800,000 won savings. 10% of that, 60-80,000. Not much, but that was not all he offered Kim Taeyang. They returned to the restaurant, sat down. Kim Taeyang made tea. What else can be improved? Kim Taeyang said. No longer cautiously, interested. Min-seok noticed the change. Yesterday he looked at him like at a homeless man who happened to be smart. Today like at a person who can help. This is an important difference. Reputation is built quickly if you make results. Business lunch, Min-seok said. What? Nearby office building, that one. Pointed out the window, and 2 more buildings 2 blocks farther. Workers have lunch from 12 to 1. Pause. You do not have a lunch set. A separate lunch price. The menu is the same all day. Make a lunch set. Min-seok spoke specifically. Main dish plus soup, plus kimchi plus rice, 1 price. 7,901. Cheap for an office worker. Pause. Speed is important. They come for an hour, want to eat quickly and return. My kitchen is slow, I know. So the lunch set from 2 to 3 dishes that are prepared quickly. In advance. Pause. Jjigae is long, bibimbap is not. Guksu is not. Choose 2 to 3 quick dishes, prepare from 11, by 12 ready. Kim Taeyang was silent. Thought, how will they know that we have a lunch set? Announcement outside. Big, even by hand, but large and clear. Pause. And bring leaflets to the neighboring buildings. One time, 5 minutes. Will you go yourself? If you want. Silence. Good, Kim Taeyang said. We try. Pause. Parksy. Can you come every day? In the morning, yes. Before Noryoung-jin. I want to make a normal agreement. Kim Taeyang looked straight. 10% of the savings is too little for all this. I propose fixed. 30,000 a day, 4 days a week. In the morning, an hour 2. Pause. Min-seok counted instantly. 30,000 times 16 days a month, 480,000 won. This is better than 10% of the savings. But Kim Taeyang offers this voluntarily. Means he thinks he receives more. Means one can ask for more. 40,000, Min-seok said. Kim Taeyang narrowed his eyes slightly. 35, agreed. Handshake. First regular client. 560,000 won per month. Day 18, minus 14. This is not just cold. This is another level. Min-seok woke up at 3 in the morning because he had stopped feeling his toes. Not numbness from an uncomfortable position. Real cold. Sat up. Began rubbing his feet. In 3 minutes, sensitivity returned. Too close. Looked around. The others were not sleeping either. Or sleeping badly. Han Min-seok sat, wrapped in a tarpaulin over the sleeping bag. Breathed into the collar. Kim Yoon-jung could be heard with her teeth chattering. Quietly, rhythmically. Old Lee lay motionless. Too motionless. Min-seok stood up. Approached. Lee see? Quietly. Lee see. A little louder. The old man moved, coughed, alive. But the cough was not good. Deep. Min-seok returned to himself. Took out the notebook. Wrote, Old Lee cough, watch. Then sat until dawn. Did not sleep. Thought about cold as a problem that needed to be solved. Not endured, solved. A jjimjilbang costs 10 to 15,000 a night. He now has a little more than 600,000 won. Can afford it. But if he goes alone, what about the others? Stop. This is not his responsibility. Lee Hansong's conditions, by himself. Only himself. But old Lee is coughing, and Kim Eun-jung is freezing so much that it can be heard. This is not abstract ethics. These are people nearby. Sat with this thought for a long time. Then another thought. If old Lee gets seriously sick, I lose a source of information about the district. Practically, if Kim Eun-jung gets sick, I lose a potential accountant whom I wanted to involve in the scheme. This is not cynicism. This is analytics. Preserving the people around yourself is both human and strategic at the same time. In the morning, approach Doka. There is a jjimjilbang nearby. Cheap. There is Han River jjimjilbang on Wondondero, Doka said. 12,000 per night. Did you go there in winter? In the first winter, yes. Pause. No money for a long time. How many of us under the bridge are really at risk from the cold? Doka looked at him. For a long time. Lee. Yoon-jung. Pause. And you. You have a down jacket, but the cardboard is thin. 3. 3 times 12, 36,000 a night. You want to pay for everyone? No, Min-seok said. I want to offer. If they want, they pay themselves. If they cannot, I temporarily. Then they will return when they can. Silence. Do you have money? Doka asked. A little. How much? Enough for several weeks if economical. Doka looked at him. You remember that our goal is 100 million, he said. Not charity. I remember. Every 36,000 a night is money that is not working. I know. Then why? Min-seok was silent for a second. Because Lee gave me information that is worth more, he said. Because Eun-jung, I need her later. Pause. And because I cannot hear a person freezing a meter away from me and do nothing. Long silence. The last is the honest answer, Doka said quietly. Yes. Pause. I will go to the jjimjilbang too, Doka said. My own money. You have money? A little. I put aside 1,000 when I find it. Pause. Old habit of an economist. That night, 4 went to Han River jjimjilbang. Min-seok, Doka, Old Lee, Kim Yoon-jung. Min-seok paid 12,000 for Old Lee. Lee took the money, said nothing. Jjimjilbang, large common hall. Warm floor, mats for sleeping. Television in the corner. Smell of wood and warmth. Min-seok lay on the mat. Warmth from below, warmth from all sides. For the first time in 18 days, the body relaxed completely. Just lay there. Ceiling white, calm. Fell asleep in 3 minutes. In the morning, Old Lee was better. Cough quieter. Kim Yoon-jung at breakfast in the jjimjilbang, included in the price, free porridge and egg, looked at Min-seok. Park, yes, for Lee. You paid yesterday. Not a question. Yes, silence. Why? Min-seok looked at her. Kim Yoon-jung, about 45 years old. Face tired but not extinguished. Eyes attentive. Accountant. Used to count and notice. You are an accountant, Min-seok said. Was. License valid? Pause. Expired. Have not renewed for 3 years. There is no knowledge. There is knowledge, she said, dryly. It was just that no one needed it. I need it, Min-seok said. Kim Yoon-jung looked at him. What exactly? For now, help one person figure out the finances of a small restaurant. Pause, then possibly more. What in return? Honestly, not much yet. Split the commission from the client with me. How much? 30% of what I receive. Pause. Now it is 35,000 a day for 4 days a week. Your share about 10,000 per day. Kim Eun-jung counted in her head. Small. For now, yes. One client. Pause. If there are more clients, there will be more. If, she repeated. Yes. If. Silence. When start? Tomorrow, 8 in the morning. Cheongcheon Sikdong restaurant on the corner of Wondondero. Kim Eun-jung finished the porridge. Stood up. I will come, she said. Left. Doka sat nearby. Listened to the whole conversation. You are building a team, he said. No, Min-seok said. For now I am just using the resources that are nearby. That is called building a team. Min-seok did not answer, because Doka was right. Day 21. 3 weeks. Results. Earned total, 1,240,000 won spent. Approximately 160,000 left. Approximately 1,180,000 won to the goal. 98,820,000 won? Progress exists. The pace is still insufficient. Kim Tae-yang's restaurant lunch set started working. First 3 days, 8 customers at lunch, then 12, then 17. Naver Place, first reviews appeared. 3 reviews, all 5 stars. Regular customers whom Kim Tae-yang asked. Small growth. But growth. Min-seok sat on the embankment during the lunch break. Cold. But down jacket, gloves that he bought last week for 8,000 at Daiso. Scarf given at the Salvation Army for free. Adapted. Steps behind. Turned around. A man. About 40. Well-dressed, not rich, but neat. Leather jacket, fresh haircut, looks confident. Son Min-seok-si? Voice familiar. No, not voice. Intonation. Businesslike. Such happens among people from the financial world. Yes, who are you? Sun Yongjun, the man said. Sat next to him on the bench without invitation. Heard about you. From where? Nori Youngjin, Sun Yongjun said. They say smart guy, former analyst, helps people find work. Information spreads. This is both good and bad at the same time. What do you need? An offer, Sun Yongjun said. Without prefaces, simple. I am listening. I am involved in one business. Pause. Let us say financial services. Need a person who can count. Fast and accurately. Financial services, let us say. Min-seok immediately heard it. What services exactly? Microloans, Sun Yongjun said. Short, fast. For people whom the bank does not give to. Microloans for those whom the bank does not give to. In Korea, this is called unofficial private loans, high interest, sometimes very high. Often people fall into a debt pit from which they do not get out. Not always illegal, but gray area, very gray. Min-seok understood all this in 3 seconds. How much do you pay? 3 million won per month, Sun Yongjun said. Cash, 3 million won per month. This is 5 times more than he earns now. 3 months, 9 million. 10 months, 30 million. This is a path to the goal, real. Min-seok was silent. Thought, quickly. First, 3 million per month from a person who deals in financial services for those whom the bank does not give to is not clean money. This is money from people who are already in debt and take even more at a predatory interest. Second, if Lee Hansong checks and he checks and learns the source of income, could this be considered a violation of the conditions? The money must be earned. But how? Third, Sache is not just a gray area. It is a world where debts are collected not through court, where debtors are pressured psychologically, where sometimes worse. If he works in this, he is part of it. Sun Yongjun waited, calmly, without pressure. Pressure is not needed. He offered 3 million to a person who has less than 1.5 million total. He understands everything himself. No, Min-seok said. Sun Yongjun raised his eyebrows slightly. The only reaction. Why? Does not suit me. Reason? Personal. Silence. Sun Yongjun looked at him. Not hostile, assessing. Think about it, he said. The offer is open for a week. Stood up, left. Min-seok looked at the water. 3 million a month. Gone. Good. No, not good. 3 million is real money. This could have been a turning point. No, could not. Because it is not that money. Because in Lee Hansong's condition, it says earned, not simply received money, and also because no, just no. Stood up, went back to the restaurant. In the evening told Doka, the professor listened silently. 3 million, Doka repeated. Yes, you refused. Yes. Long pause. The second candidate, Doka said quietly. The one who reached 40 million in 5 months? Pause. The first 20 of them through a similar source. Min-seok looked at him. Did he stop then? Then yes. Switched. But the first money was from there. Hansong knew? Hansong knows everything, Doka said, but it did not formally violate the conditions. The money was earned. Pause. The person simply could not live with it afterward. Pause. That is why the girl. That is why he left. Silence under the bridge. Wind over the river. So it was right that I refused, Min-seok said. Probably, Doka said. But now you need to find a replacement for 3 million. Pause. Otherwise the pace is not right. I know. Any idea? Min-seok was silent. There was an idea, not complete, an outline. But there was. I will tell you tomorrow, he said. Need to think more. Lay down on the cardboard. In 3 weeks, almost 1.5 million won. This is real progress. But more than 98 million still left to 100 million. The pace needs to be doubled, tripled. For this, a lever is needed. One person earns slowly. Several people earn faster. A system of people fastest of all. Something like that. Closed his eyes. Thought until 1 at night. Then fell asleep. Dreamed of Noryangjin. People by the wall. Foreman. In the dream, they were not standing separately from each other. They stood together. And it looked different. Better. Day 22. Morning. Doka was already not sleeping, as always. Min-seok came over with a notebook. Ready to listen? Ready. They sat. Min-seok opened the notebook, a page written at night in the dark, crooked lines. Noryangjin every day, he began. 20-30 people wait for work. Foremen come and take whoever they want. Pause. People stand passively. Wait to be chosen. I know this. Now the other side. Min-seok spoke clearly. Small businesses in the district, restaurants, shops, small construction, they need temporary people. But they do not go to Noryangjin. Too inconvenient. They do not know whom to take. They are afraid of unreliable ones. Continue. I know both sides. I know who can do what among the people by the wall. I know who needs what among the businesses around. Pause. Now I do it point by point, one person, one order. Pause. Need to make a system. What system? Simple, Min-seok said. Without an office, without a phone, without anything. He showed the notebook. The list of people and skills is here. The list of those who need people to add gradually. I am in the middle. Find a match, organize, receive a percentage. You are already doing this. I am doing it badly, Min-seok said, chaotically, only when it coincides by chance. Pause. I want to do it deliberately. Every day a round of 3 to 5 establishments in the district. Offer the service. Collect requests. Close requests, Doka thought. The problem is trust, he said at last. You will come to a stranger's restaurant. Say that you can find people. They will look at you without a phone, without a business card, without an address, and say no. I know. Pause. That is why Kim Taeyong is needed. The restaurateur, he needs help. I help him. He sees results. Pause. Kim Taeyang has been in this district for half a year already. Knows neighboring entrepreneurs. If he says here is a person, works normally, trust is higher. Silence. Doka looked at him. You use Kim Taeyang as a recommendation. Yes, I will honestly tell him directly. Offer a discount on my services in exchange for recommendations. Will he agree? If I explain, yes, it is profitable for him too. Neighboring entrepreneurs are his potential lunch customers. You recommend me, I recommend you. Doka looked at him for a long time. Network effect, he said. Yes, primitive, but working. Pause. How much do you want to earn from this? Per month, if 10 business clients, each gives 2 to 3 workers per week, average job 100,000 won, commission 5% from each deal. Min-seok counted aloud. 10 clients, 2 deals per week each, 20 deals. 5,000 from each, 100,000 per week. 400,000 per month only from this. 400,000 is little. That is only commission from the workers, Min-seok said, plus from the business separately, for convenience. Subscription fee 20,000 a month for priority access to people. A business will pay 20,000 for priority access to laborers? It will pay if the problem is real. Pause. Kim Taeyang already pays me 35,000 a day. For what? For convenience and expertise. Pause. People pay for solving a problem, not for a beautiful office. Long silence. Doka looked at the notebook. Took it. Read. Was silent. Returned it. This can work, he said. I know. But alone it is hard. Going around 5 establishments, keeping the list, closing deals, monitoring completion. Pause. One person is the ceiling. I know, Min-seok said. That is why Kim Yoon-jung is needed. Doka raised his eyes. Explain. She is an accountant, attentive, knows how to work with people, visible from the way she speaks. Pause. While I go around establishments and find clients, she keeps the lists. Accounting. Who works where? How much is owed? How much has already been paid? You are offering her a permanent role. Yes, full-fledged, with a share. Pause. And Gi-chun, Min-seok added. He knows the workers. They trust him after the story with non-payment. Pause. He becomes the senior among the workers, responsible for quality. If one of the people does a bad job, his reputation is also under threat. So he watches. Doka was silent for a long time, then said, You are describing a staffing agency. Pause. Min-seok looked at him. Staffing agency? Exactly. Without an office, without a legal address, without a license, without a phone. A staffing agency under Wondangyo Bridge. Yes, Min-seok said. Silence. This, Doka began. Stopped. What? This is exactly what I tried to build for 4 months. Doka said quietly. Only in other words, more complicated. Too academically. Pause. You described the same thing simply. Min-seok looked at him. So will you help? Doka was silent for a long time. Looked at the river, then turned. Yes, said Doka Akpra, former professor of economics at Seoul National University. I will help. Pause. But with one condition. What? When you earn your billion, Doka looked straight. Without irony, seriously, one person under this bridge receives enough to start again. Properly. Min-seok looked at him. Understood whom he meant. Not himself. Old Lee. Agreed, Min-seok said. Handshake. Under Wondangyo Bridge. December, -12. A staffing agency without an address opened.